Before this episode begins, on behalf of us all on the All Things Leeds team, we would like to send our thoughts and prayers out to Kalvin Phillips and his family after the horrible news last Thursday that Val Crosby, also known to his Leeds fans as Granny Val, sadly passed away aged 82 after a short illness. I'm sure she touched the hearts of many Leeds United fans. She was the heartbeat of the Take Us Home Leeds United documentary. It's a very sad loss to the Leeds United family, and she will be dearly missed. Rest in peace. Hello and welcome along to episode 86 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, NkGhTg, and joining me remotely, of course, is as always my co-host, Charles Foster. Charles, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. Enjoyed the weekend as much as I could, considering the Leeds United result on Friday night. But no, all in all, I'm good. How are you, mate?
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm just had a nice long weekend, and I'm looking forward to next Leeds game next week on Tuesday.
Yeah, and hopefully Leeds United can bounce back from a defeat. We've of course got to talk about that defeat, that 1-0 loss away at Wolverhampton Wanderers in this show. We'll see how the Leeds United under-23s have got on recently as well. We've got a little bit of news to get into as well before we look ahead to Tuesday night's game, which sees Leeds United host Southampton at Elland Road. So loads coming up here in this episode of the All Things Leeds podcast. So then, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Leeds United 0. That's now 2 defeats in a row. But Charles, Leeds were quite unfortunate on Friday evening, weren't they?
Yeah, I felt we had a lot of very good chances. We were possibly we were very unfortunate not to get something out of the game. And the circumstances in which we lost the game were, as we're going to talk about, one of the strangest, most unfortunate goals I've ever seen. So, coupled with our kind of typical lack of efficiency we saw from the team in the Championship, it was just a kind of unlucky day all round.
Yeah, it was a very unlucky night at the Molineux. Of course, Wolves scored their goal in the 64th minute. Dama Traore just being allowed to cut inside from the left. I don't think it was good defending from Leeds United. He just was able to just glide past Ayling. Stewart didn't really close him down properly, and he got the shot off in the end. But the ball hit the post, bounced back out off the post, hit Meslier in the back, and then crossed the line, and it was a goal for Wolves. It was a very lucky goal.
It was the kind of goal you would concede on FIFA or Football Manager. It was just the most ridiculously unlikely thing you've ever seen. It came just after we had a brilliant chance to score ourselves with one of Liam Cooper's headers. He had a few over the night, which connected with well, forced decent saves out of. It was just really unlucky that we went from that to conceding a goal that kind of shoddy. And Wolves, they just, after they've gone 1-0 up, just dragged the game out for us. For the remaining half an hour or so, they were just time wasting as much as possible and slowing the game down. And we couldn't really get back into it, despite a couple of good chances, particularly from Helder Costa in the kind of dying seconds. Yeah, but it was just unfortunate.
Yeah, and Wolves, scoring a lucky goal and then time wasting and cheating their way to victory. And the referee just seemed to allow it, until that corner right at the end, which he booked the Wolves player for time wasting. But they were just allowed to time waste and cheat their way to a 1-0 victory. A fluke 1-0 victory, really. Because, a very lucky goal. And it's so unfortunate for Illan Meslier as well. He's been punished for trying to make a really good save. He's been punished for trying to be a good goalkeeper there. And he didn't deserve something like that to happen to him on the night, did he? Because Meslier had a fantastic game on Friday. He made some fantastic saves, particularly in that first half to deny Neto and Semedo as well. He had a good chance. He made a couple of decent saves in the second half as well. Meslier was really good on Friday night, which is really good to see considering he had a poor game against Arsenal the week before. So it was a great response from Meslier, and then to be hit with an unfortunate goal like this, it's cruel.
Yeah, I did feel for him because I felt he did have a decent game, did make a few good saves. I did see a stat, I think it was up from Opta, saying he was the youngest goalkeeper ever to concede an own goal. So particularly, to obviously cause the own goal, but it's just so unfortunate. And then you got Nuno coming out afterwards saying, they felt that Wolves deserved that look. I didn't feel like that was the case. I mean, I know
Yeah.
I'm biased as a Leeds fan, but I felt the game was very even. I thought a draw probably would have been a fair result.
Yeah, it was a very even game, and I think even for the neutral, it was an entertaining game. It was end to end, back and forth, and yeah, it was very even. And I don't think any team deserved to win. Really, I thought Leeds United definitely did deserve, to draw the game and get a point. Would you agree?
Yeah. I felt we should have probably put away one of our set piece chances, particularly from Liam Cooper had a couple of good headers, and Bamford got one on target as well. I felt that we really should have got probably a 1-1. I think a 1-1 draw would have been fair. And then obviously we'll go on to talk about the Bamford offside goal shortly, or the one that was declared offside.
Yeah, we certainly will. But yeah, Leeds United certainly did enough to get a point from this game. You mentioned Liam Cooper. He could have had a hat-trick in this game, all from set pieces as well. And there were two that were pretty much the exact same. Yeah, it would have been weird, wouldn't it? Liam Cooper, a defender scoring a hat-trick, all from set pieces. It's a very un-Leeds-like.
Yeah, it's really not how we've been, playing this season. We've really not focused on seemingly defending or attacking set pieces. We've been trying to score nearly all of our goals from open play, which is shown by Bamford having pretty much all of his goals from open play. But yeah, Rafinha's massively improved the set pieces of late, and I think even once Phillips is back, I think he'll probably stay on set pieces and corners.
Yeah, that's what I was saying during the game. Rafinha needs to stay on set pieces because those set pieces on Friday were brilliant from Rafinha.
And he did it really unfortunate not to get a couple of assists to Rafinha, but yeah, it was just unlucky, and we did our best, and we were just punished by something that was just ludicrous, and we'll just have to move on.
Yeah, Rafinha could have got a goal himself as well. He had a really good header. You mentioned earlier Helder Costa as well, a really good chance right at the end of the game, and that was his moment, wasn't it? Helder Costa coming off the bench, his time to shine against his former club, and he just scuppers a shot, and you're just thinking it's not going to work out for him, is it, Helder Costa?
The thing is, because he came off the bench last game, and we were 3-0 down. I was at fault for one goal and scored one goal, and he felt that that was a superb moment, to kind of, prove he still had a place in the side, that he could be the man in that moment, and it was an all right finish. It was just all he needed was a little bit of power, and that was going straight in. And it was a great chance for him, and it fell so kindly. And I think Wolves have got to consider themselves fortunate to have got the 3 points. I think, and any Wolves fan that does, just moronic, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Bamford, as you mentioned, he did have the ball in the back of the net. A great finish as well after Tyler Roberts played him through. It was a fantastic finish from Patrick Bamford. But yeah, he was denied his 13th goal of the season by the offside flag. Now, at first glance, to the naked eye, it looked offside. At first glance, I was like, yeah, he's offside. He's got the right decision there. But then started to draw the lines. VAR started to draw the lines of where the players were. And to me, it looked onside all of a sudden.
I thought they were dead level, to be honest. The Bamford's knee and the heel of the last Wolves defender, I thought they were dead level. I think Bamford's very unfortunate not to be given that one as onside. I mean, appreciate the lino's made the call. I thought the lino was just giving offside all night, to be honest with you. I thought it was poor. But it looked slightly off initially, but yeah, as you say, but on the replay, for me, they're dead level. I think it should have been given.
Yeah, Bamford is a bit unfortunate there. You mentioned the officiating. I thought the officiating was dreadful on Friday evening, really, and especially from the linesman. The officiating in English football is just dreadful. I mean, it's another topic for another day, but officiating in English football and the Premier League is just shocking, absolutely shocking. Some awful decisions in every single game you see in the Premier League. Every single week. So yeah, the standard is just appalling. So yeah, Bamford very unfortunate to be denied a goal here. And yeah, we did enough. We did enough to turn a point. We deserved to draw, really, but yeah, it was just not our night, unfortunately. And Charles, it's evident, isn't it, that we do miss Kalvin Phillips. Of course, Phillips missed this game as well. Yeah, we've lost the last 5 games without Kalvin Phillips. It's evident that we miss him. He's a big loss, isn't he?
Yeah, although I thought we were better in this game, I thought we looked a lot more solid. Because Obviously, the back four was kept in place. But yeah, we do miss him. Just his general kind of physical presence. I think he'd have been sticking tight to the likes of Traore and Neto, and I think we would have got a bit more, possibly a couple more turnovers in the middle. I felt we were kind of slightly unfortunate with that kind of thing, but I thought we were better than we were against Arsenal in general.
Yeah,
I thought we did look more solid.
Yeah, we really did look a lot better, in the Wolves game without Kalvin Phillips compared to the Arsenal game without Phillips. And I think it's down to, it was a different kind of system, wasn't it, Bielsa was playing? To me, it looked like a 4-4-2. Robertson, Bamford up front together, Mataush, Click and Shackleton taking it in turns to drop deep, collect the ball and then move to play forward. It was it was a different kind of system, really. And I quite liked it. I thought it worked well going forward. I thought we were okay defensively. And yeah, again, great to see the back four back to how it should be. Dallas at left back, Elland at right back where he's miles better. Struick back in centre back where he looks a lot better and a lot more confident, and Liam Cooper alongside him. Great to have the defence back to the way it was, because it does affect us, doesn't it, when because you look at the Arsenal game without Kalvin Phillips and the whole defence, has to reshuffle around. Struick drops into CDM where he's not too great. Shackleton at right back, which I don't think works. I think Shackleton's much better in midfield. Ayling at centre back where he's miles better at right back. Changing stuff all around doesn't really work. And it was good to see in this game that Bielsa try something new and it actually somewhat worked. Yeah,
with a bit of experimentation is necessary, especially with the amount of injuries we've got at the moment. But I do think it's a slightly better result and a solution with the latest setup. And I'm hoping that Kalvin Phillips will be back for the Southampton game, although for obviously various reasons which we'll go into, he may not be there, so we might have to employ the same system again. But I'm hopeful for the Southampton game. I really am.
Yeah. After the Wolves game and seeing the system we used and the way we played without Kalvin Phillips, I'm a lot more confident now going into games without Kalvin Phillips, because that system I did quite like it, to be honest. It's much better than seeing Ayling go into centre back and then Struick into CDM, Shackleton at right back. It's much better than seeing that, really. So I'm a little bit more confident now heading into Southampton if Kalvin Phillips does miss that game. But no, he is a big loss. Is Phillips? He's the heartbeat of the team. He's the one who takes control of the midfield and defense. I think Messier as well. He missed Kalvin Phillips, especially in the Arsenal game. He had no one really to pass to and take control in that midfield. So yeah, he's a big loss. And Charles, it's time, isn't it, in the summer for us to bring in a like-for-like replacement for Kalvin Phillips, because we can't continue on heading into games where we don't have Phillips due to injury or suspension and thinking, well, everything's going to get changed up and we'll probably lose games. We can't go on like this. So it's time for a like-for-like replacement to be brought in, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the club will definitely be looking at that. There seems to be hints from the likes of Phil here that we are going to be looking into buying a new centre midfielder in the summer and a new left back. And I can't see us buying a more defensive player, because although Kalvin's not hugely injury prone, he does have periods where he is not fit. So we are going to require someone to fill in for him. Whether or not you're going to be able to get someone of the same standard for a reasonable amount of money, and especially given he seems to be the kind of pretty much the first name on the team sheet when he's fit, whether you're going to get someone who's going to be willing to sit on the bench is a different story. So you might have to get a slightly younger player, but we'll see what the club do. I've got faith in the club to find a DM for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go out and get an expensive, experienced DM, because that is going to be expensive to get an experienced central defensive midfielder, but just someone kind of Forshaw-like, but not as injury prone. I mean, a lot of people say that we've got a like-for-like replacement there in Adam Forshaw, but he's currently out. We don't know when he's going to be back and if he's going to be back at all. So I think that we can certainly get a good, solid defensive midfielder who can just hold that position for a while Kalvin Phillips isn't there on the cheap. Someone in the Championship maybe who could do that job. It's not going to be cheap getting an experienced DM to fill that role, and it's not going to be easy persuading an experienced defensive midfielder to sit on the bench. But I think we can certainly get someone from a championship who does a similar job to what Forshaw's done in the past when he's had to fill in that role. And yeah, I think we should be fine. But it's definitely something to look at in the summer. But no, we're certainly better in this game without Kalvin Phillips compared to the Arsenal game. But it was a 1-0 loss. As I say, it's another loss without Phillips. We've now lost our last 5 games without Kalvin Phillips. And yeah, it's of course now 2 defeats in a row. We dropped down to 12th in the Premier League table. And after the results at the weekend, we're now only 10 points above the relegation zone. So yeah, we really need to get to those 40 points, don't we, as soon as possible? Because like before we started recording, I was saying to you, look, we're now 10 points, only 10 points above the relegation zone, where last week we were, 16 points above the relegation zone. So within a week, it's, Fulham have gained 6 points on us. So yeah, now I'm starting to think, could we be dragged into a relegation scrap? It's important, isn't it, to bounce back from this defeat and get to the 40 points as soon as possible now, just to calm everyone down a bit.
You see, last week, you were very comfortable and I was slightly worried. And this week, you're basically slightly more worried. And I'm all right, to be honest. I think we'll be fine. I think if you're, as I was saying to you off camera, I think if you're a Palace fan or a Newcastle fan, you're far more worried than you are if you're a Leeds fan. And I'm not too worried. I think we're going to get to the 40-point mark. Obviously, we have got a slightly difficult period of games coming up. With I think we're playing both Manchester clubs that way. Is it in April?
In April.
Yeah, it's in April.
But you look at the March fixtures, though. We've got 2 trips to London and Chelsea at home. Yeah. So,
well, I do think that makes the Southampton game a little bit more important for us to get some points in. But I'm not awfully worried. We've seen some strange results this season, and we've had some games we thought we were going to get battered in where we weren't, and some games where we didn't think we were going to get battered in where we did. So I think we're probably the least predictable team in the Premier League, to be honest. And I've got faith we can get to that 40 points. 8 points. We've got more than enough games, and I think there's other teams that are definitely going to go down instead of us.
Yeah, I've got faith. Yeah, I've got faith as well that we get to the 40 points. You say, I'm not that worried, but in the back of your mind, you are thinking, could we be pulled into a relegation battle here? So, I do think that we will still be fine, but I'll be a lot more relaxed, like I'm sure everyone would if we get to those 40 points. Those magical 40 points. Leeds United now back to the drawing board after those 2 defeats in a row. We, of course, go into the Southampton game at home on Monday, in need of a win, really. Charles and I will preview that Southampton game later on in the show. For Leeds United 23 has made it 9 wins in a row last week after defeating Reading 3-0 at Four Parks last Monday and beating Norwich City 2-0 away from home on Friday. Those wins keep them 10 points clear at the top of PL2 Division 2 with 6 league games left of the season. Charles, it's looking more and more likely that Mark Jackson's side will win automatic promotion to PL2 Division 1. Yeah,
I mean, without trying to jinx us, I think it's pretty much a nailed on. Knock on wood. I think it's pretty much nailed on. They are playing very well. And I thought, despite the weirdness of that latest game at Norwich with the sendings off and various things, Mike Dean's clearly got a new understudy in the 23s. But the quality of the play was decent. I thought they weren't really up to the usual standard of play. I did watch the game. They weren't, it wasn't scintillating because I thought Norwich did defend quite well, but I thought Leeds were generally in control and did play quite well.
Yeah, we certainly did play quite well against Norwich, and certainly played well against Reading. 18-year-old midfielder Stuart McKinstry scored a brace against Reading, and if I do remember correctly, McKinstry really shone, didn't he, in that FA Youth Cup match at Manchester United last year, didn't he? And yeah, McKinstry, he looks a really good player.
He does. He's got great pair of feet, and he's fast, he's agile. And I think he's been drafted a bit more centrally than he normally is. I think we kind of think of him mainly as a wide player, but I think he's been deployed as a centre midfielder. But yeah, he's quality. There's a lot of quality in the 23s. I just think they've got to want to get promoted next season. They've got to realise that they are going to be the newly promoted team. So they've got to keep it get it to a higher standard, really. Because as we've seen in the FA Cup, there is a big difference between 23s and obviously the next level up.
Yeah. Yeah, there certainly is a big difference, but they're certainly doing well in the, in the U23s level where they're at. Crescencio Somerville got an assist against Reading and scored against Norwich from the penalty spot. And there was a lot of people on Twitter I saw saying, get Somerville away from Norwich and get him up to Wolverhampton. Because, of course, Leeds were playing later on the Friday. I mean, Somerville, he looks a really good player.
Yeah, he's a quality winger. He's got that kind of Sterling vibe about him. He's always trying to take his ball back on. He's rapid. He's just. I do think he's probably good enough to make the bench at some point, in the same way that Gallagher has. So I expect to see him there. Probably maybe not this season, but you think next season he might be getting a bit more of a chance on the bench.
Yeah, I certainly see Somerville not far away from getting a call up to the Premier League bench. But no, the M23 is doing really well at the moment, and they achieved Category 1 status in the summer. It's a new league for them, and to see that they've adapted so well to this PL2 Division 2, this new league, to see that they've adapted to this higher standard so well, top of the league by 10 points. It's fantastic to see, isn't it, Charles?
Well, yeah, it is great, and it's good to know that the money that's been invested in the academy is going on good players and going on good prospects, and I'm hoping that we see more players develop, to a higher standard, and hopefully we can have that kind of regular influx of academy players into the first team that we've enjoyed, over the last 20 years.
Yeah, certainly. But yeah, no, fantastic stuff from the Leeds United 23 so far this season. As I say, 6 league games left. So, it's looking more and more likely that they will win promotion. And, fingers crossed that they do. But yeah, 9 wins in a row. We'll see if they can make it 10 wins in a row when they travel to Crystal Palace on Monday, the 1st of March. Palace are third in PL2 Division 2 on 23 points, 17 points below Leeds. So on paper, Leeds United should win that match, but Palace are unbeaten in their last 3 games with 2 wins and a draw. So they are a decent side. So it should be an interesting game, that one. As I say, that game is on the 1st of March and kicks off at 1 p.m. Let's now have a look at some news. And 29-year-old Spanish forward Rodrigo is back in training, it looks like. He was unexpected to be out for a number of weeks, and it looks like that is the case. Charles, are you looking forward to seeing Rodrigo return?
Yeah, I am actually. I think it'd be great to see him again. It'd be nice to just have more attacking options, and have the bench look, less like it's just full of 23s and more like it's full of fully fledged first team players. I think we are pretty bare bones at the moment, so it would be good to see someone like Rodrigo get back.
Yeah, certainly. It would be good just to, just welcome someone back and, get a decent name on the bench, because you're looking at the bench and you're thinking, well, we really, really do not have much at all. So yeah, it'd be great to see Rodrigo back on the bench soon. Have we missed Rodrigo, do you think, in the recent games?
I think so. Although I didn't think, last couple of games, I think Ty Roberts has been pretty good. I think he was decent against Arsenal, and I thought he was pretty good against Wolves as well. But it was unfortunate, obviously, not to get the assist for the Bamford, offside goal. I think he's been good, but it is nice to just have someone with Rodrigo's experience and ability to just turn a player and link up well with Rafinha and Bamford. Yeah, it'd be nice. It's great to welcome him back.
Yeah, I mean, he's our record signing, so it'll be fantastic to welcome Rodrigo back and try and get something from him before the end of the season. I do think we've missed his creativity, his spark, his link up play going forward. He links up so well with Rafinha and Bamford and Harrison. It's it's a joy to watch. So I think we have missed Rodrigo somewhat, but it would be hard for him to get back in the side. As you mentioned, Tyler Roberts was given a start against Wolverhampton. It was big chance for him, and he took it. Tyler Roberts was really good on Friday night against Wolves, and Rodrigo it's certainly going to take him a bit of time to get back into the starting 11.
Yeah, well, he always does with injured players, and Bielsa obviously likes to get people back up to speed. But it may be the case where it needs most, and we will need to bring him back in. And we have seen with certain players that if they're essential to the team, Bielsa will kind of forego that. I think Liam Cooper and Phillips in particular, when they come back from injury, they literally just go straight back in the team. So there are certain players who just go straight back in. Well, I suppose we'll see if Rodrigo's one of them.
Yeah, we certainly will see if that is the case. I'm 27-year-old Spanish defender Diego Llorente is available again, though it does seem like he will be managed. We did see him on the bench on Friday against Wolves. He's had 2 or 3 stints on the sidelines, hasn't he, with injury since joining Leeds. So yeah, we do need to manage him well, don't we? On his return back from injury, we do need to manage him well.
Yeah, he's had a torrid time this season with injuries. I really hope it's just one of them horrible freak seasons that he does get some consistent appearances for us. But I suppose we'll find out. I do hope we can get him some starts over the course of the season. But if the defensive partnership is doing well, then I don't know if he'll get in. But
yeah,
it would be good to see him get some just to see him more regularly on the pitch because it was kind of heartbreaking to see him go off injured last time. Only on the pitch. What was he on the pitch? 10 minutes before he had to go off with his injury. It must be tough on the bloke mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be great to see Diego Llorente come back and play some minutes in the first team at some point this season, because we don't really know what Diego Llorente has to offer, really. We saw him play one half against Chelsea away, and we saw him play 8 minutes against Newcastle before going off. So we don't really know what Diego Llorente is all about. So it'll be good to see him play this season at some point, and good luck to him on his return back from injury. But you mentioned with Cooper and Struijk in the starting 11, they're performing really well at the moment, especially Pascal Struijk. I think he's been incredible over recent weeks, and for Diego Llorente and Robin Koch, when he eventually returns, it's going to take a lot of time for them to get back into the starting 11 if Cooper and Struijk keep up these performances.
Yeah, I mean, and that's only a good thing. Competition is a good thing, particularly in defensive places. I think we've been kind of torn apart by defensive injuries this season. Phillips been out injured for a long time. Llorente being gone pretty much the full season. Cox had 3 months on the sidelines. We've kind of been torn apart, really, and I think it has cost us with the amount of goals we've been conceding over the last couple of months, and a few of the hidings we've had. I think if we'd have been fully fit defensively, we may not have suffered as much. Yeah,
I don't think we would have either, but we've certainly improved in recent weeks. We haven't been, no, we conceded 4 goals against Arsenal, but we've got a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. I do think Cooper and Struijk have been performing well recently, so over to keep up the performances. But it'll be good to see Koch return soon, and Diego Llorente make a push for the starting 11, and just get back to our strongest 11 as soon as possible, really, because we have so many people out at the moment. Good to see Llorente back. Good to see Rodrigo return to training. But Ian Poveda, Robin Koch, Berardi remain out as they continue treatment. And Kalvin Phillips at this moment in time is still out. We don't know if he will be back. Of course, if he is back for Tuesday night's game against Southampton, then he obviously goes straight back into the team. I don't think anyone would argue with that. But good luck to all the players with injury and in their recovery. In other news, the Premier League have released a statement regarding televised fixtures. They've said that all fixtures will continue to be made available to fans to watch live in the UK, and that will be the case until government guidance permits supporters to return to stadiums. All matches will be shown via existing broadcast partners Sky Sports, BT Sports, Amazon Prime Video, and BBC. Details of broadcast selections for March and the rearrangement of previously postponed matches will be announced in due course. Charles, it's great to see how we've gone from games being on pay-per-view to pay-per-view being scrapped to all Premier League games now being televised and being fans being able to watch all the games without paying any additional fees. It's great to see it. It's the way it should be.
Well, yeah, because I think sometimes that these television companies forget that they are the bedrock of their income, and everything they own is as a result of fans, paying £40-50 a month per kind of TV broadcasting service, and the kind of cheek to charge people more was rightly rebuked. And it is good to see that they're going to keep putting the games on for us, because people do deserve it and people need it. Football is fundamentally an escape during an extremely tough period at the moment, and I know I'd certainly be worse off without it. So I am pleased to see it continue and be broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And speaking of televised fixtures, Leeds United have had a few of their own games in March changed for TV. So our trip to West Ham United is now on Monday, the 8th of March, kicking off at 8 p.m. live on Sky Sports. Our home game against Chelsea is now on Saturday, the 13th of March, kicking off at 12:30 p.m. and is live on BT Sport. And our trip to Fulham on Friday, the 19th of March, is now going to kick off at 8 p.m. and is live on Sky Sports. So plenty of games there to look forward to on TV. Let's now look ahead to Leeds United's next game, which sees them host Southampton at Elland Road on Tuesday evening. The game kicks off at 6 p.m. Charles, we go into the game having lost our last two games. So we really need to win, don't we? And we should win this, shouldn't we?
I think it is a good opportunity to pick up 3 points, but I don't think we should underestimate Southampton, because I do think they have some quality players. Danny Ings is just a great Premier League striker. I think Stuart Armstrong's a really good player, as I mentioned previously. James Ward-Prowse, I do think he is the best free kick taker in this league. I think he is. Well, either him or De Bruyne, really, but I still think Ward-Prowse has been quality over the last few years. And Vestergaard, I think even though he's had a bit of a tough time over the last kind of month or so with various things, I think over the course of the season has been a quality centre half. So they've got a lot of decent players, and on the day can be dangerous. I think we're going to have to isolate Danny Ings if we're going to get something positive, get a positive result from the game, particularly because I think he's just been superb this season.
Yeah, absolutely. They certainly do have some decent players at Southampton. Danny Ings is their top goal scorer this season with 9 goals and 3 assists. You mentioned James Ward-Prowse there. He's got 6 goals and 5 assists this season. And probably is one of the best free kick takers in the Premier League. So they certainly do have players who can cause us problems, but they haven't been causing too many teams too many problems in recent weeks. And now, if this is the first time we're playing Southampton this season. If this game was any earlier in the season, I probably would have been nervous because they had a very good start to the season, didn't they, Southampton? They were tipped as top 4 contenders at one point, but they've kind of crashed back down to reality. I think it's fair to say they're now 13th in the Premier League table on 30 points, 2 points below us, which it's crazy considering where Southampton were a few months ago.
Yeah, it's kind of been them, Villa and West Ham this season are the teams which have had kind of like were really good up for the majority of the season. But I think Southampton have just dropped off over the last couple of months, and I think they've really kind of gave up the ground that they initially got on the Premier League table. But as I've previously said, they're not to be underestimated. And Wolves were around us, Arsenal were around us. It's another one of those mid-table clashes, and we probably need to win it.
Yeah, certainly. And Southampton certainly are to be underestimated. They got a decent result last time out, drawing 1-1 at home with Chelsea. But they did lose 6 Premier League games in a row before that Chelsea game, conceding 20 goals, which of course included that 9-0 loss away at Manchester United. So, yes, it's a great chance to return to winning ways. Pick up 3 points against the side here around us at home. They're not in great form, and take another step closer to the 40 points. It's a great opportunity.
Well, yeah, it is, and I think a good 3 points on the board will drag us further away from the relegation zone, calm your nerves, and put us within 5 points of 40. So I think that's where everyone wants to be.
Yeah, certainly. What would be the team for you on Tuesday night? I mean, if Phillips is back, then I think he goes straight back in, really, because he's so important to the team. But if he isn't, would you keep it unchanged from the Wolves game?
I think I would. If Kalvin's filling up to play, and I'd put him in. But otherwise, I don't think I'd make many changes. I thought we played well. We just weren't very lucky. As Bielsa mentioned, we've got to make our own luck. So I'm hoping we can just be a little bit more clinical in this game.
Yeah, certainly. We certainly played well against Wolves. We were just unlucky on the night. So hopefully we can luck is on our side on Tuesday, and we can be a little bit more clinical. Seen a few people saying Pablo Hernandez could go back in. By the way, it was great to see Pablo Hernandez come off the bench against Wolves. Because because there's a lot of rumours there saying Pablo Hernandez has kind of fallen out with Bielsa and Leeds United, but it was great to see Pablo Hernandez come off the bench on Friday night against Wolves and put in a decent performance. I probably wouldn't start Pablo Hernandez though. I I'd keep it unchanged from that Wolves game if Phillips isn't back. Because we certainly didn't play bad against Wolves. So yeah, hopefully, hopefully luck is on our side on Tuesday, and we can bounce back. Of course, the last time we played Southampton was in October 2012. We beat them 3-0 at Elland Road in the League Cup, but Southampton did make a lot of changes then. But Charles, can we win on Tuesday evening? What's your score prediction?
Of course we can. Full faith in the lads that we can win. Score prediction. I'm going to go for a 1-0. I'm going for a 1-0 win. I think that's one. Yeah.
I would hate a 1-0 win. I absolutely hate it because it sounds so nervy. Does a 1-0 win? I mean, yeah, I would just yeah. I mean, I would just take 3 points. I would just take 3 points, but I think it could be a comfortable night on Tuesday. I mean, not to underestimate Southampton. I think they have some decent players, but they're not in the best of form recently. As I say, a decent draw against Chelsea, but before that, they lost 6 Premier League games in a row. So I don't think they're in good form at the moment. I think Leeds United they'll have a lot of the ball on Tuesday evening. I think Southampton will mainly just sit back and counter attack. So yeah, I do think it could be quite a comfortable evening on Tuesday night for Leeds United. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to be bold. Say a 3-0 prediction. Bamford hat-trick. That was certainly be good. But certainly a good opportunity for Leeds United to pick up 3 points on Tuesday. And hopefully Leeds United can return to winning ways. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 86 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much as always to Charles for joining me.
Thanks for having me on, Matt.
No worries. Appreciate you joining me as always, mate. And thank you as well to everyone who has watched or listened. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're on. If you have an Apple device, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. That'd be very much appreciated. Share it around as well. That really does help us out. And make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search All Things Leeds on Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. All Things Leeds on YouTube. Plenty of content coming up throughout the week. We've got pre-match chats and post-match reactions, live streaming on YouTube and Facebook after the Southampton game and the Aston Villa game on Friday. So plenty of content to look forward to. A quiz as well next week as well. So yeah, plenty coming up on All Things Leeds. So make sure to follow and subscribe on all our platforms. But yeah, Charles and I will be back later on in the week. So until then, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.